my business school, the Entrepreneurs Academy. Tons of resources, over 300 business development resources available to you. So if you would like to join the video, just head over to toyinumesiri.academy. Okay. Thank you. I see Ronnie. I see Jason. Hi, Jason. Hi, Marisa. Thank you, everyone, joining. So, employee versus entrepreneur mindset. Okay. I've been talking about this for a while. I'll continue to talk about it for a long time to come. It's the idea that if you have hopes, dreams, aspirations to become an entrepreneur, or if you've just become an entrepreneur, or if you've been on your journey, say, for a couple of years, one of the biggest transitions and transformations you have to go through is to adjust your mindset. Okay? It's the major, as soon as you can develop a new mindset, you will achieve success faster. Everything is mindset. Okay? So this is the one major barrier, the one main barrier on your journey to success as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, is mindset. And this is it's such a painful thing too, because transformation is not easy, change is not easy. So when I talk about mindset adjustment, mindset ascension, this is why I support my students, my professional students in the academy, with a ton of mindset programs. Because it's not easy. If you're waiting for it to just happen by itself, it takes longer. Okay, it takes longer for us to transform to be the person that can create all the results we want, because we've been seriously programmed, guys. We've been seriously programmed to adopt a certain mindset that doesn't support wealth building, wealth creation as an entrepreneur. So those who achieve success in the world of business, part of what they've had to do is they have to change. You have to change. They are a different person. They don't operate with the same operating system that an employee does. Right? To be a business owner, to be an employer, to be an entrepreneur, it's different. It's a different function. It's a different discipline. It's a different profession. It's a different way of approaching life. It's a different operating system. If I can use the computer story, right? Is that we all have the hardware. Okay? Amazing hardware. But what you program, the software with which you download into your mind, the knowledge you acquire, the skills you develop, will determine the results you can get. So if you're an employee that you've been trained as an engineer, you're operating on a software of engineering, knowledge of engineering, skill of engineering, and I'm sure you're rocking it. You're doing perfectly on your engineering job. If you're an accountant, you have knowledge, superior knowledge of accounting, skill of accounting, right? You will do that job very, 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 very well. Entrepreneurship also requires us to program ourselves with the knowledge of entrepreneurship, with the discipline of entrepreneurship, right? With the skill of entrepreneurship. There's a skill associated with business development. There's a knowledge base, right, that you must embody. And this is where the struggle is. If you don't embody the knowledge, if you don't develop the skill, you cannot get the results. It's like fishing. No matter how much we want to fish, if you don't embody the knowledge of fishing, if you don't develop the skill of fishing, you still cannot fish. Even if you wake up in the morning and say, I'm a fisherman, this is what happens, right? An employee wakes up and says, you know what? I want to be an entrepreneur. You register your business and they say, who are you? I'm an entrepreneur. Guys, you can say you're a fisherman all you want. If you haven't embodied the knowledge, if you don't develop the skill, you cannot perform the duties of a fisherman. Okay? So this transformation is what I'm creating awareness on, right? That we actually have to discipline ourselves. We have to learn new skills. We have to change, because what's in the way of who we are. What's in the way of the success we want, okay, is the mindset you've adopted, is the operating system. Because the moment you disrupt it, the moment you upgrade, The moment you discipline yourself, the moment you acquire the skills, the moment you learn, there's nothing stopping you anymore. Nothing will stop you, right? The moment you learn how to fish, you learn the discipline of fishing, you know what time to fish, you know what instruments to use, right? You discipline yourself, nobody can stop you from fishing anymore because you know where the river is, you know where the stream is, you have your equipment, you have your knowledge, you have your skill, you go there. There's nothing stopping you anymore, particularly when there's no rule that says no fishing here, right? You even know where you ought to be fishing. So what stands in the way, guys, is what we know or what we choose not to know. Lack of knowledge is always expensive. Always expensive. So let me give an example of some of the differences between employee mindset and entrepreneur's mindset. Welcome, Moifolua Ndeye. I see Onyi Childera. Thank you for being here. I see Amos also joined us here. Come up to the stage. If you've been here before, you know, once somebody comes onto the stage, when somebody asks questions, the dynamic shifts. The conversation is more meaningful, it's more dynamic, it's more specific. Instead of me just talking generally, right? I can dish out general stuff. But as a teacher, as a coach, my school has 300 plus resources that is a game changer for those who want to learn how to build, grow, and scale a world-class business faster, not slower. Hi, Jason. How are you today? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm 8.5 out of 10. How are you?
Oh, good. What did you say? Can you repeat that, please?
I said I'm 8.5 out of 10.
Eight.
I always hear it's very good mental health. I worked in mental health over 25 years. My dad twice, and I didn't, and I broke the generational curse. But I always answer honestly and precisely, and it could save somebody's life. I'm 8.5 out of 10.
Okay. I don't have a background in that space, but I appreciate you educating us on that. So 8.5 should be close to good, but it's better than 5. So thank you for being here. Any thoughts on what I've just shared so far?
Oh yeah, I'm on a decades-long journey to really develop the mindset of an entrepreneur. So I appreciate your teaching. It's not taught in schools, and I used to think, as I said last time, I used to think it was something that was. It's more complex. I will be the Canadian expert on this. I already teach 7 Steps to Entrepreneurship Millions. I went to school for this. I studied a Bachelor of Commerce, and I did adult education. But I still have to change my mindset because I've been an employee longer than I've been a full-time entrepreneur. So it takes a long time. It's a very complex retraining process. I've read over 100 books since 2010, and I still have to keep learning. So it's not an easy thing to change at all. It's a tough thing to develop this, Jason.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for sharing your background. And what you just shared is actually why I teach differently in my school. Okay, let me tell you one myth buster. No matter how many books you read, no matter, you can read 1,000 books. You trust me, this is why I teach differently. You can read 1,000 books and still not transition. The reason is because the final transformation happens when you put yourself to work. Okay, what you do with the knowledge you acquire is what builds your muscles. Right? So you can read 100 books on how to lose weight. You're not going to lose a pound of weight if you don't get on the treadmill and do the work. I use analogies to make people, to shock people into realizing, stop kidding yourself. You can read 1,000 books on how to lose weight. The only way you're going to achieve it is to get on a treadmill and start doing the work. I shock people when I say these things. I shock people. Guys,
you're absolutely right.
You will not lose, Jason, you're not going to lose a pound. You're not going to lose 1 pound after reading 1,000 books. You will not make a dime if you read 1,000 books and you don't practice anything. You can go to 1,000 clubhouse rooms, consume YouTube, 1,000 YouTube videos. You will get nothing If you don't do the work, if you don't train yourself, you will get nothing out of those things. I keep telling people, content is not what you need. What you need is discipline and action. People keep consuming content and they get more confused. Listen, you can consume all the chat GPT content. If you don't show up, if you don't practice, if you don't practice marketing, if you don't practice communication, if you don't practice sales, if you don't show up every day for the rest of your life, listen, you are smart, you will feel smart. Knowledge makes you feel smart, it makes you feel intelligent, which is the employee mindset. We keep consuming so that we can get an A on paper. Nobody grades us on practical. In school, you are always dumping theory. They are grading you A. So you feel smart. The only way you will be graded in your business is results. Results is the only pass mark here. You can consume books and feel smart and even answer all the questions and host rooms and host 100 rooms. The only grade here, guys, in business is results. What we are going after is results. And the way you get results is with skills. And the way to build skill is through practice and repetition. There's no way around it. It's either you pay somebody who has skills or you develop your own skills. No way around it. This is the error of the day. When people say, give me more content, give me more content, listen, January to December, you can consume all the content you want. If you don't show up to do marketing, if you don't show up to sell, if you don't show up to prospect, if you don't show up to all of this step by step that I teach in my school, you're filled with theory, but I'm talking about practical, the practice of it, the discipline of it. That's why I say, stop being an amateur, go pro. Sales and business professionalism requires time management, focus, discipline, and showing up to do the work. Everybody else can be doing whatever they want on social media. The only people who do this well are the people who discipline themselves to do the work. I worked for the biggest company in the world, Fortune 1. Guys, every single day is serious business. 2.2 million people every single day showing up to push and do real work. Nobody's sitting around talking. In fact, there's a saying, they always say you get 1 point for talking. The remaining 9 points is for doing. That's the saying at Walmart headquarters. You get only 1 point. Out of 10 points, you get 1 point for talking. The remaining 9 points, show me your work. Because everybody can talk. Nobody wants to roll up their sleeves and get the work done. And the only way you get results is through real work. And this is what people don't want to understand. But I'll keep repeating it. Because the employee mindset tells us to sit down, right? And we are graded primarily, at least in school. You memorize whatever the teacher says, you give it back to the teacher and you get an A. Entrepreneurship is not that way, guys. The only way you catch a fish is you learn and you practice and you practice and you keep practicing and you don't stop practicing. You practice forever. That's it, Jason. So I trust me, books and content, if it will solve this, the whole world should be rolling in millions of dollars right now. Because content is not the problem, guys. Content is not the problem. Content is everywhere. It's all around you. We're all swimming in content right now. Everything, content is everywhere. But what we need beyond content is step-by-step direction. That's why I have the roadmap in my school, step-by-step direction of what we need to do, and then we need to do it. Okay? You need to know what you need to do, and then you need to discipline yourself to do it. Right? This is the way we grow. This is the way we develop muscles. This is the way we become a professional at this game. Right? I know I just put a lot out there. This is it, guys. This is what differentiates those who continue to dream and those who actually have results to show. This is what I just shared now is the differentiator. Jason, thoughts?
I agreed. There's a quote that it isn't true. It's one of my favorite quotes that isn't true. And it's something I did a video on. It's Frederick Douglass's quote. It says, once you learn to read, you'll be forever free. But that's like saying, like, once you learn to work out, you'll be forever fit. you still have to read, and it's unfortunate because he's brilliant. But he thought that once the slaves learned to read, they would keep reading. But trust me, they're all just watching videos. It's not true.
Well, okay, maybe what they meant is freedom of the mind, because actually we need to be free thinkers. We need to free our mind first. So liberty, liberation happens in the mind. Once you start reading, your mind is set free. Actually, after that, we now need to discipline ourselves to do the work. Because once your mind is free, you can acquire knowledge, you can acquire information. This is what people ought to be pursuing every day. First, you need knowledge, but not just any type of knowledge, which is another thing I say red flag on. Consuming random things that doesn't propel your life forward is not strategic, is not the wisest thing to do. Actually, what I guide people to do is, first of all, have a vision for your life. Where are you taking your life? So, for example, if you want to become a doctor and you are busy consuming accounting knowledge, you are not going to become a doctor. You become an accountant. What you consume is what you become. Remember, knowledge, okay, is the software of the human mind. When you program yourself, okay, with accounting, you become an accountant. You program yourself with law, you become a lawyer. So the first thing, that's why at the beginning they will ask you, who do you want to become? What do you want to study? Right? At the beginning of your employee journey. And you tell them, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that. And then they say, okay, go to school. And this is the learning path. Learning path for that career. When you now say, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to be a business owner, it means you now have to create a new learning path for yourself, for your life. That means now you are going beyond what you already know. You now want to perform duties and activities beyond your current capacity, your current, right? So there's now a new learning path. That's what I've infused into the Entrepreneurs Academy at sewingumesiri.academy. Okay? It's a learning path for entrepreneurs, because I realize that beyond the employee mindset are skills we must develop: marketing, branding, pricing, human behavior, psychology, right? Mindset, personal development, time management. Yes, this is the education you give to yourself. The education they didn't give you in school. If you want to be a world builder, you have to give it to yourself, right? You have to give it to yourself. The other thing that employee mindset, how it disrupts entrepreneurial mindset, is what I call sense of entitlement. We've all been trained with the employee mindset, okay, to feel entitled to money. Okay, let me break it down. If your employer doesn't pay you, listen, you will go after them. In entrepreneurship, nobody owes you anything. The market does not owe you anything. You cannot go after anybody. Okay? There's nobody to go after except yourself. This is why you have to educate yourself. The only person you can go after is the person in the mirror in entrepreneurship and business development. It's only you, it's on you. As an employee, if you check your account and they don't pay you, you know the number to call. You just call your employer, you tell them this is our agreement, right? In business, unless you signed a contract with a company or a person, that conversation doesn't exist. The only conversation is, what don't I know? I need to know. What do I ought to be doing that I'm not doing? This is why knowledge is your power. You have to continue to develop yourself, because if the market shifts on you, right, you cannot blame the market. You have to blame your own knowledge or lack of it. But in employee mindset, oh, they didn't do this. Oh, they didn't do that. Complaining because you feel entitled. Entitlement always breeds complaining. Oh, it's the government. Oh, it's this person. Oh, it's that person. Oh, they didn't do this. Oh, it's them, right? Entrepreneurship, it's not, it's you. It's going to be you always. And so when people don't want to take personal responsibility for their own development, for their own growth, for their own knowledge, and they still think somebody else owes them something. Somebody else is supposed to teach them something. Somebody else has not guided them in this way. It's employee in them speaking, because nobody is responsible for giving you the knowledge you need to make money. Nobody, nobody, nobody is responsible for that. That's another trick. The employee mindset tricks you into thinking, oh, why didn't they do this? And why didn't they do that? Why didn't they do this? Why the government does it? So you find people making it a full-time job, pointing fingers instead of full-time job, taking responsibility for closing the gap, closing the knowledge gap, right? Because the people who are showing up every day and winning every day is because they have they've taken full responsibility. The people making money, building businesses every single day, they've taken full responsibilities. They're investing in themselves. They're hiring coaches. They're attending workshops. They're attending webinars. You see them, guys. You see them online. All the content you see online are real people sitting in seats that they paid for, and they are taking notes and they are learning and asking questions. The rest of the people on social media are just watching clips and clips of real people doing real work. It's like watching somebody going to the gym and you are hoping that you will lose weight because you saw them. No, it doesn't work that way. Yes, all the content you are seeing was produced by people doing real work. Nothing is free. Somebody created that thing you're seeing. Somebody disciplined themselves to create the content. Somebody did the work. Okay? And so when you see people at seminars, when you see people at workshop and you're seeing 60-second video, 15 seconds reels, realize that some people may have sat in that place for 2 days, for a week, learning. And they take all you just got a glimpse of 10, 15 seconds and you're like, oh, that felt smart. They got it all and they're applying it to their business and they are winning and making money. You won't see them again. So no matter how much you're watching people exercising, doing their thing, working their crafts, perfecting their skills, you are sitting comfortably while they are sweating it out. You are watching everybody sweat it out. Okay? As long if you are not sweating it out like they are, you are not going to get the results they are getting. You're not. You're not going to get the results. You can watch movies, they tell these days they talk about entertainment, entertain them. Guess what? You can watch all the actors entertain you. It doesn't make you an actor like them. You know why? They've invested years of labor to perfect their craft such that make believe they can entertain you successfully. So that's why they earn the millions of dollars for doing their job well. And the person that is being entertained goes home and sleep, gets nothing, or even pays to watch them do this thing. That's how the world app works. Those who are producing results, those who are productive are the ones who get all the rewards. And those who watch the movie, listen, you actually pay the people being productive. Right? We pay productive people, the people producing your handbags, your shoes, your cell phones. That's where your money is going. That's where the money of the entire world, your money flows into people who create value. Did you know that? Money only flows into value. The people who produce your cell phone, the people who produce your shoe, the people who produce your food, the people who brought you gas for your car, those are the people who get rewarded in life. The people who invest their time, energy, and resources to create value that humans want. They're the ones that get paid. And the employee gets paid also for their skill. But the entrepreneur gets paid beyond their skill. They get paid for their creation. Right? They get paid for their solutions. They get paid for their platforms, for their events, for the experiences they create, for their performance beyond just one skill. In fact, excuse me. Let me take a sip of water here. And I'm actually drinking cold water. I ought to be drinking warm water. Can you feel the ice? Pardon me. It's a good day to it's hot outside actually. It's a hot day here. I see David in the J. Welcome. Come up to the stage. I see Elvin. I see Selena, Maruf, MD Maruf. Ronnie's still here. Chidera, Onyi as well. Thank you for being here. I also see Larry and Des. I don't know how long you've been here. I just had to scroll up to see you guys. Thank you for being here as well. The link up above also goes to the video session in the Entrepreneurs Academy. There are over 300 resources that covers entrepreneurship, the A to Z of entrepreneurship, business development, and I also include mindset and personal development classes and coaching as well in my school. I invite you to become a member and join the Entrepreneurs Academy. There's also a business community as part of the space. Okay, Jason, any other thoughts before I start wrapping up or wrapping down today's session? Go ahead, please.
Well, I totally agree with you. There's the same point I was making, that despite the 100 books, it's an action step. So I think that, my second step is basically, after you have your plan of what you want to do with your career, and I did mine in 1999, I was diagnosed with genius illness, then it starts your main business stream as a club. And I cost me my house starting Toronto Poets as a club. But then I learned in 2010 that I really needed mentors. So the third step is read good business books and get good mentors and coaches. And I'm looking at your school once I have the money for it, to just have you as a coach. And then because you've done some things that I'm trying to do now, like pitch my TV show and different things like that. So I think you definitely, without the action step, it's market testing, right? You end up not really knowing how your business can work. So that's testing. That's what I'm doing right now. This is Jason.
Yeah, for me, what I had to do was create frameworks. So I am big on incredible, like designing frameworks, designing roadmaps, consumer journey maps, because for me, in guiding other people, so I teach, I coach, and I train, and those three disciplines are different. I teach, I coach, I train. Okay, I teach, right, to pass on knowledge. Okay, I teach what I know, I teach what I do, I convey. So you find guides, like there are 10 disciplines. There's mindset, there's pricing strategy, business model, there's branding, there's marketing, magnetic messaging, lead generation, like over 300 resources. I teach. But what I also know is that teaching is not enough. Teaching is not enough. Okay? So what I then do is I have workbooks, a ton of workbooks. I put my students to work, because I can teach you and transfer knowledge from my mind to yours, but I cannot transfer skill. Do you get it? I cannot transfer skill to you. You have to develop your own skill. I can transfer knowledge. That is teaching. Okay, not many people are good teachers. They cannot convey their thoughts, but I'm a very good teacher. My husband is a PhD, he's a professor, but I'm good. I'm naturally good because I use a lot of stories. I convey. I know I'm good. But no matter how good I am in transforming, in passing on knowledge, there is still something, there's still this last mile. You have to be able to do the work to get the results. So I support my professional students with workbooks, a lot of workbooks, storytelling workbooks, market research workbooks, consumer insight workbooks, product launch, service launch workbooks, lead generation workbooks. Listen, sales process workbooks upon workbook. For everything I teach, I will give you a workbook. And the way I design the workbooks is that you can now personalize it to your own reality, and there are specific questions you would attempt to answer. Let me tell you the power of a question. I have a first degree in mathematics. Whenever they say X plus Y equals to Z, life is constantly giving you questions every day. A question is an equation of life. In attempting to solve or answer the questions of life, you will find a solution. So when you are not asking the right questions, you are not going after the right solutions. So while we were in school, they would tell us equation, but they didn't tell us that every single day, everything that puzzles you is a question you've not had answers to. You don't know how to solve it. That's why you are still puzzled. So I equate question to an equation, right? Because once you have the perfect question, who is your customer? How well do you know your customers? What are their pains? What are their gains? What are their aspirations? What are, right? Once I start poking at you with these questions, how well do you know your customers? Guess what? It puts your brain to work. On social media, they are putting our minds to not work, dumbing us down. Don't think, just feel. Don't think. They are stimulating feelings without stimulating thinking. Dopamine. They are making you feel excited, but they are not informing you. They are not teaching you. They are not giving you anything that will help you achieve success. Everything you read out there, listen, if it was designed to help you be successful, you would have done everything you wanted to do by now. But I'm telling you to watch out. Those who stimulate your emotion without giving you time to think, they are bypassing the way the mind works. You feel good, but the mind is like, that's my sinister laugh, by the way. Your mind is like, I don't know what to make of this emotion. People are dancing, people are singing, and you are feeling good, but your mind is like watching you and like, oh my goodness, feeling good, but you cannot do what you want to do. The mind is not being nurtured with what it needs. So yes, I would teach to transfer knowledge in my school. The workbooks would make you think, right? Because we need to activate something deep in the human. You are a genius. You are a brilliant being. You are an intelligent being. We are. But we have to put ourselves to work, intelligent work. You have to put yourself to solve because business entrepreneurship, you are a problem solver, you are a solution provider. So part of the discipline of being an entrepreneur is to think and solve what other people do not want to solve. So I also know that is a skill. So my workbooks would listen. I'd always say, get off social media, get to a nice chair, get your coffee, tea, whichever one you prefer, turn on the guide, print out your workbook, get your pen, start solving. Because that's where also power is unleashed within you. Okay? And so as you're going through the workbook, as you're going through it, guess what happens? You feel empowered. You know how it feels when you solve a math question you couldn't solve before? You'll be happy. You'll be joyful. You'll be excited. It's still not over. That journey is still not over. The next thing I now do, when I say I coach, is I now say, discipline yourself. Take that knowledge to the world and practice it. It's not enough to feel good when you're solving the equation by yourself, with yourself in your nice, comfortable room. Coaching and personal development and mindset coaching now motivates us to action. Personal development, mindset work is where we are motivated to action. So you can be inspired, you can be educated, but we also need to be motivated to take action, and not just take it once, take it consistently, because consistently showing up is how we're building skills and we're starting to get results. So that's how I teach differently. That's the principle. So I have a ton of framework. And this is why what I offer is a school. When I say it's a school, I'm not telling you take one class. I'm not telling you take two classes. I'm saying invest in a new journey that will support the life you want. And trust me, it's the best investment you can make, because even just 1 hour with me You're paying that for a month of enrollment in my school. And that enrollment opens you to all the 300 resources, and it's structured step by step, the curriculum, the roadmap, everything step by step. That's why I designed it the way I designed it. But other people will offer you, download this class and you will make 1 million. Go on reels, I'll teach you how to, they tell, I'll teach you this, I'll teach you this, I'll teach you that. Listen, if they do the work for you, they've not trained you, you can't still, you always depend on the people who have skill. If you don't have skill, you're going to be paying every day, every moment, the people who have skill. That's why I say, if you're going to be an entrepreneur anyway, 2 core skills you must adopt: become a sales professional, become a business professional. Train to become a sales professional so that you can sell with ease and close with ease. Okay? Comfortably, naturally. Okay? And then become a business professional. Learn the structures of a business. Learn the structures of a business. Once you have those 2 things, you are unstoppable. Those 2 skills, you become unstoppable. That's it. You become unstoppable. But until you get there, guys, people are still out there feeling less. Question: oh, how do I price my product? Oh, do they want to buy? All these questions is a gap in knowledge. Close the knowledge gap. Once you close the knowledge gap, you develop the skill, you close the skill gap, you become unstoppable. Nobody can stop you anymore. Right? So I'm starting to wrap up for today. Any other thoughts? And then anybody else on any of the platform, and then I'll close this out. The website is Toyin, my first name and last name .academy. .com is my personal brand. You can learn more of the other things I do there in international trade work, my TV show, all of those things. And then the training space. Listen, this is a body of work that I'm extremely proud of, because it's a game changer for those who decide to make this level of investment in their own future. Right? Test it out, try it out, and listen, it's a journey of transformation. We have to transform from employee mindset to entrepreneur mindset. And one of the things I also realize is that many people want to do it by themselves, and nothing wrong with that. What I just said, it takes longer. If you go on that transformation by yourself, even after 5 years, what I've seen, and I covered this in my book, what I've seen is even after 5 years, some things have still not been set properly. Right? Even after 5 years, I've listen, I speak to more than an average person. Even after 5 years of being an entrepreneur, I've had people come to me and still they've been attempting it by themselves. Oh, I feel like I can figure it out. Well, it's like how do I say this? You want to go to California, there's a plane waiting for you, but you say, you know what, I want to ride my bicycle to California. Eventually you make it, but more stress, more pain, more physical strain, right? So I always tell people, you say, okay, I want to do it by myself. That's okay, but just realize there's a plane. My school academy is a plane. It will take you there faster. You will sit comfortably. You will learn faster. You will not sweat too much because I'm teaching you, I'm guiding you, I'm coaching you, right? Somebody else is flying you, right? While you enjoy and you still arrive. But the people who say, you know what, I'll do it by myself, nothing wrong with that. Just start that journey, but realize people get lost on that journey. People go back on that journey. People lose a lot of resources on that journey because they are not tapping into a higher level, higher dimension, superior way of learning, right? Of mentorship, of coaching, of teaching. And everything I'm saying is not new. You know why it's not new? The whole purpose, we all went to school. We invested 4 or 5 years to sit at the feet of teachers, and they poured knowledge into us, right? And they gave us all they could give us. And the first 20 years, somebody was teaching you. And I'm saying, everything I'm saying, there's nothing different there, right? So if you want to be a doctor and you say you want to learn it by yourself, that's your decision. But the whole world also has a space, right, to help us become an employee. What I've done is helping us now become an entrepreneur. I miss Selena. I don't see your picture, but welcome to the space. Thank you for being here.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. I just want to say that I agree with you. It's great if you have a mentor and you have people supporting you, but I do believe that you can also achieve by doing it on your own if you have no choice.
Hmm. Okay, can we dive into that?
Because
What
that's what,
can we dive into what you mean by
because,
if you have no choice?
for example, I launched my app and I did it no funding, from no funding, with no mentor, no co-founder or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it and I have achieved it.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with your statement that it took me a bit longer,
Mm-hmm.
but that was at the time that was the only alternative afforded to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I have still achieved of my aims. So I agree with your statement.
Mm-hmm.
If I if I had a mentor
Mm-hmm.
at the start of it, I probably would have get there sooner.
Mm.
However, I still there's other ways of getting to your goals
Mm-hmm.
and successfully getting to your goals, even though one may be longer. Now, what I learned through my journey of not having a mentor, not having a no funding investment, not having a co-founder,
Mm.
not having my family money or my friends' money or any investment.
Mm.
So I found ways of achieving my goals
Mm-hmm.
through another alternative. I'm not saying my way is better,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not saying the other way is better, but I'm saying through my journey,
Mm-hmm.
um, I have learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I have learned a lot, and I'm also at advantage of how do I say it? When you do something challenging yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you build something yourself. When I say myself,
Mm-hmm.
I mean in terms of the vision. What helped me,
Mm-hmm.
two things helped me is I had a I got a great team of people
Mm-hmm.
who I'm working with. So that they shared my vision
Mm-hmm.
and offered me support, and that helped.
Mm.
Another thing that helped me is that throughout this whole process, I have been working and funding myself,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
funding the whole project myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, why did I do this? Let me get to the point. No one believed in the vision apart from me.
Mm.
And when I went to people originally with the idea, they didn't believe it was possible.
Mm-hmm.
So that put fire in my belly to
Mm.
think, let me go and do it myself and
Mm.
show what's possible. So that's what I did. I reached out to people um, to support with the vision. Someone's busy. It's just how to explain. You know, when you have a vision,
Mm-hmm.
um, people don't think it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Your vision.
Yeah.
Many factors could be is being a black woman. I know
Mm-hmm.
I'm from the UK, but I am a black woman,
Mm-hmm.
and I got the British accent. I'm a black woman, so when you're, from my experience and my perspective,
Mm.
coming from the UK,
Mm-hmm.
when you're a a woman,
Mm.
um, there's certain discriminations that
Mm.
you face.
Mm.
So that could be in the workplace, that could be trying to seek
Mm.
investment, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say I never had a choice, I
Mm.
mean I'm the only one who believed in my vision,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to take action whether someone believed it or not.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
4 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, I launched my app. And in a couple of weeks, I'm going to launch my social media networking website, and I'm going to
Congratulations.
also launch other stuff. So what I'm saying is, I totally agree with you. Now, if I had a mentor like you in the beginning at the time, it would have been amazing. But when you have no choice,
Mm-hmm.
no one believes in your vision,
Mm.
you haven't got the access,
Mm.
the funding, the know-how,
Mm.
you find a way to do it.
Mm.
And I did that. I
Mm.
launched my app about 4 weeks ago. Now, funny enough, now people are believing
Mm-hmm.
that to get to this point, it's like, I don't know, if have you not heard of the chicken? the chicken and the cake story, where the chicken is asks all these animals. I don't know if you guys heard of it. It's a story, a children's story, kind of like a fable, where the chicken that is asked and the hen is a hen. Sorry, the chicken hen is asking animals, "Can you help me bake the cake?" And she asks each of the animals, "Help me bake the cake." And the animals will make excuses and say, "Oh, I can't do this, it's this." So all throughout the stages of her baking the cake, she's asking animals to help her. And then they're saying, making excuses, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to find the name of that story. And then at the end of it, the cake is baked and all the animals come and say, "Oh, let me have a piece of that." And she said, "No." But it's kind of like that. So I agree with your the California and the plane. It would have been amazing to have a mentor on that. And I don't think I'm unique in terms of
you're not
having people not believe in your
you're
vision.
not.
I'm not unique.
It's normal. Yeah,
with
it's normal.
yeah, especially being a black woman. I know I'm from the UK and
No,
whatnot.
it
There
doesn't
are
even
certain
matter.
privileges.
Even here. So
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question, because exactly what you're saying is why my business school, right, is there. Because to your point, the help you need is not coming. The help you're looking for, nobody's out here coming to rescue anybody. Nobody.
No, sorry to correct you.
No,
Because
you're
this
fine. You're
helps,
fine.
yeah.
This is a
I would,
conversation.
sorry to correct you.
You're
In
fine.
the beginning, like this is, I have to, my story. I have to share this with you. There, in the beginning, there was help, quote, help out there to help me, quote, but I had to pay them. Now, if
Exactly.
you're built at the time when I was building a startup, I never had the resources to do it. So it's yeah, it's great if there's support out there and you've got the finance. But what happens when you have not got the
So,
finance?
okay,
Yeah,
I'm
that's the question, because it's like
and
we have to talk
okay.
about, we have to keep it 100 and keep it real.
let's
Like
let's keep
most
it
found,
real. I'm
yeah,
gonna ask.
most founders, yeah, we're not, we haven't, can't go, our family is not made of money. We haven't got connections, and it's loans, and loans is not accessible, easily accessible to
So
us. Now, so even if there's support out there, usually I look up like thinking, great, there's support. And I remember saying, "Oh, look, there's things out there."
yeah.
And then I saw the money I had to pay to get the support I needed. And I'm not saying that that support is not it's not worth it, or we shouldn't pay. What I'm saying is, when you have not got it,
And
what do you
okay, I
do?
want to ask, let's, because what you're sharing is also what I disrupt for my students. We have to disrupt it, because this narrative cages you, it doesn't set you free. Okay? Because the question I was going to ask you is, what would you do differently? But from what I'm still hearing, there's still a storyline there, because just on Saturday, my monthly coaching, the Millionaire Mindset Coaching, what I taught my students on Saturday is about building what I call RICH, rich relationships. Rich, RICH, is an acronym I developed. Money is not the first thing you need. What's the first thing you need is relationships. Because when you have an idea, and this is something let me finish. Selenian, let me finish. No, you have your time. Let me finish. Okay, let's handle this gently. So here's the key. When you're given an idea, and for those who follow me, they already understand the spiritual dimension that when I teach about ideas, that ideas are deeply spiritual. And generally speaking, ideas, okay, when ideas come to you, the same idea that you carry, you're not the only one that idea came into. When we say yes to an idea, we also need to know, to fulfill that idea, to Make sure that idea fully materializes and mature. The biggest ideas in the world takes more than an individual. If you're an entrepreneur and you don't get this fundamental, it's part of the disruptive mindset we must disrupt. An idea needs a ton of resources, it needs a ton of energy, it needs a ton of manpower for it to grow and blossom. The employee mindset still believes me, myself, and I. This is one of the employee versus entrepreneur mindset. When you want to do entrepreneurship really, really well, once you master, those who have built multiple businesses, they understand what I'm trying to share. Those who are still new at it, they are still struggling with this belief that this idea is mine, it's only about me, I'll do it myself. I get it. At the beginning, you can start with that mindset. But if you don't disrupt that mindset stays caged with that individual. It won't grow to the breadth and the depth, right, of its fullest potential. You're going to need partnerships. You're going to need support. You're going to need so much. If you want your idea to take over and rule the world, you have to master relationship building. You have to master relationship building. And this is one of the reasons why, for me, in my school, those who have made the investments, I will teach, because out here in the world, people will be arguing with you. And I'm not for arguments. Believe what you want to believe. If it's working for you, live your life. But those of us who are doing incredible things, this is a fundament. There's no successful person in the world you're going to ask and say, how did you become a successful person? That doesn't understand that the people you know and the people who know you are the ones to support you on your success journey. Whether it's clients, whether it's customers, whether it's vendors, whether it's investors, whether it's sponsors, whether it's mentors, whether it's coaches, everything you need for you to develop as an individual, everything you need for you to grow your business, everything you need to communicate to reach the whole world. Listen, it's relationships that would help you unlock it. Relationships.
Can I quickly add to that?
Who's Selena or Oyin?
This is Oyin.
Go ahead, please.
This is Oyin.
Yes, and then we'll come back to Miss Selena.
So, actually, it's for the conversation. Hopefully, benefits Selena as well. So, I've been in business since I was in grad school, so about 6 years. My first business, I had no money. In fact, I was in a lot of debt. But in 2 years, which I was raising funds in grad school, but how was I able to access these funds? I was able to access these funds because I had friends, I had relationships that were very strategic, and through these friendships, I was able to get sponsorships from companies like Facebook, Netflix, and many other companies, to the point that we were responsible for introducing Facebook to the West African market at the time. So my point is, the last thing actually you need is money. That's not the first thing you need. You don't need money. What you need is to really believe in your solution and be able to sell that idea to people that you already know and people that are serious business people, so that they then see the benefit and then they can then sponsor the idea.
And thank you for that, Oyin. And one of the things I was training my students, my professional students on Saturday, is that I compared two types of relationship. If you're looking around you right now, and these types of people do not exist, okay? Because that's one of the things I say. The moment you want to become an entrepreneur, you have to disrupt the people around. You have to actually expand your network. You actually have to put a distance between you and people who used to think the way you used to think. Because the moment you start asking the wrong people for directions, people haven't been where you're trying to get to, people who don't have direction, who don't have insights to being an entrepreneur. If you start asking non-entrepreneurs entrepreneurship questions, they can't help you. They can't help you. They can't take you to where they have never been before. So the fundamental thing you have to do is you have to disrupt your network. Because if you look around you, if nobody can help you, if nobody can answer your questions, if nobody can support you, if nobody can inspire you, if nobody can motivate you, you are in the wrong network. You are in the wrong community. So part of the disruption of the employee mindset is seeing the world as your oyster, not just seeing your friends and family as the people that will help you launch this thing. No, you have to look beyond. You have to believe that there are people out there that need to know you and you need to know. And once you build those relationships, they will help your dreams come true. This is another major disruptive thinking for people who are used to doing me, myself, and I with my family, my natural space, people who care about me. And now you have an idea that is bigger than that, than your community. Networking for an entrepreneur is not based on natural family friends. It's the world out there, because the world out there can offer you so much more support than the people you naturally know. So that's why at the very beginning, I've written about this before and it's in my school. The moment you say you want to be an entrepreneur, you also have to disrupt, right? You have to go, you have to find people who have been to where you're trying to be to, go to, and who have done what it is you're trying to do. They will offer you more insight. And so the other thing I also wanted to call out is, yes, you may have to pay for it, some, because there's only so much to a mentor, like this hour or to this hour and a half. Listen, I would fund you, give you energy, but that's also limited. A mentor cannot sit with you, guiding you, coaching you, teaching you, but they can inspire you, they can connect you, they can introduce you, which is fantastic. But the personal development and the skill building is still something we have to continue to invest in. Over to you, Selena.
Thank you. I'm sorry about the disconnect. I don't know what
Sure.
happened.
No.
I disconnected from the talk. So what I think what we are agreeing, I'm not disagreeing with you, but why I said the belief in yourself is first, more than anything. Self-belief in your vision, because it gets pretty dark. It gets really dark when and you're the captain of the ship. Another thing is, I agree with you, definitely agree with you. This is how actually my everything started going right for me. I came out of my environment. So the oppressive environment in the UK, I reached out to my brothers and sisters overseas in African countries, in other countries, and I reached out to them. Now, due to Asia, due to that, we build connections, relationships, like you said, and we start working together and learning from each other. So I totally agree with what you're saying. The second step for me was actually leaving my environment and going into another. And I mentor people now. So I mentor people from Africa, etc., due to my experience in that. So I am. There's no disagreement between me and you. The issue is it's just different ways of, like, the mental things you're saying is vital for everyone to having a mentor. But if there's no option, like in my situation, there was lack of resources, and it was the environment I am in. At times, I'm from the UK. I'm a black woman. So there's a misogyny, there's a double-edged sword of being black, being a woman. So when you're from a country not black, there's, even though we have privileges afforded to us, there are other aspect barriers in that stops us from our progress. When I came to someone about my idea in the beginning, I was a black woman. And my product is for black women. So they're like, how is this going to happen? How's this? One time I went to a business advice event to get funding, and I went to the event, spoke to the advisor. The advisor had no belief in my product and what I'm going to do. And that was the early stages. So, you know what I did? That fire in my belly. I said, I'm going to do it myself. So I went out and I got jobs and I put saving and I doing stuff through that. So your steps, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think your steps is if you got access, money, whatever, not even that, a mentor could even help you. And another thing I agree with you is sometimes Black women labor is not paid for. So there's times where we're doing lots of charity work and whatever, but at the same time, our bills needs to be paid. And some of the labor work we're doing is not recognized. So when I'm mentioning money to you in that terms, I'm not saying we shouldn't charge money. We definitely should charge money because we're providing expertise in our service. I'm saying my journey, at the beginning of my journey, I never had money to pay for these courses. Now, money is okay for me. I could go for those courses, but it's starting now. I didn't. So I feel we are totally agreeing with I agree with what you're saying, but what I'm trying to do is tell you a different
No, it's not, but it's not different. It's not different. But what is different? The main thing that is different, okay, is our belief system. Our experiences may be similar, but our belief system is different. let me, if you give me time to break it down. When we experience certain conditions, because I teach mindset coaching to entrepreneurs, because if you don't know how to adjust your own belief system, you will make the world will be always controlling your reality versus the reverse. You don't take on the power to control your own destiny. Okay? So here's the key. With our mind, whatever happens to us, our mind comprehends it and comes up with a story. And that story or series of stories form your belief system, how you operate your life, what you believe about yourself, the world around you, what is possible for you, all of that. So two people may experience the same thing, but their conclusions could be different. So their experiences are different. Their belief system is different. I may have experienced everything you just talked about, but trust me, all of those things do not stop me from going at the highest levels to do what I want to do. It is what it is. It is the reality out there. But for me, my own belief system is if I want to do anything, it is done. Nothing will stand in my way. No human, no person will stand me from becoming who God has called me to be. That's the belief I embody. Do you understand? No matter what social construct sits against whoever, I don't care whatever those constructs are. I'm not denying them. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying I don't care. The assignment God has given me to do in the world, I dominate. The promise of Genesis 1:28, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it, dominate. That spiritual force is fully operational within me. This is why I also support my students with faith-based practices. If you are a Christian and you are hearing me, wake up. Wake up. What has happened? What has happened to you? Let me finish. What has happened to you is real. What's the way the world is formed is real. What experience, how people perceive you is real. Whatever is real. I'm not saying deny them. I'm saying so and so. Will that stop you? You are bigger and stronger and more able. And I'm saying my belief is shaped. Okay? I can do all things through Christ and I put that center stage. And because of my belief, I also believe there are incredible people ready to partner with me, ready to support me, ready to invest in me. And so I'm laser focused on that. And because of that, I continue to progress and move forward. It's a belief system. It's not a denial of your experiences. It's saying what stories and conclusions are you going to arrive at that you're going to use to govern how you want to do your life and how you want to engage with people. And I'm saying my own belief system is heavily shaped by what I believe as my faith journey and my calling and my assignment. And I keep making progress in spite of everything you just talked about. Who wanted to speak? Was it Oyin or Celine? I'm not seeing the. Okay.
Selena, what I wanted to say, based on what I have achieved from my beginning to now, regardless, it shows that I believed in myself
Fantastic.
100,
Fantastic.
no matter what anyone said,
Fantastic.
because I have successfully achieved what
Fantastic.
everyone said that I could not do. I have done. I got under 30,000 connections on LinkedIn.
Fantastic.
Funny enough, I have now 2 women, amazing women, high achievers, successful women, has reached out to me and said, let me mentor you.
Great.
So funny enough, now that everything I believed in has been set for me, loads of doors are opening.
Fantastic.
I'm also collaborating with women around the world.
Fantastic.
I always mentor because I feel I know how it feels. So I totally agree with everything you said strongly. My belief system.
Exactly.
No matter what anyone said to me, I believed in my vision and my
exactly.
dream,
and that's it.
Happy.
And that's it.
And that's it. However, I'm just sharing to everyone from my perspective, my live experience,
Absolutely.
how I got to this point.
Absolutely.
Due to that. So the belief system, that's why I said, the first thing is believe in yourself. Once you believe in yourself and drown out what everyone is saying and just continue with your vision, you can manifest so
Absolutely.
much. So I totally agree
Absolutely.
with what you're saying, because
Absolutely.
I'm the example of this, of myself not believing my circumstances. Because imagine if I believed in them and I didn't go for my dreams, I don't even know where I would be.
Exactly.
But now it's like, and now doors are opening and I'm getting mentors.
Absolutely. And that's how it works. That's how it works. All things are possible to them that believe. In fact, one of the programs, the first week when people joined my school, because all of these things you're saying, it's not new. You're not the only one. One of the game plan 12 strategies for winning, one of it is learning how to remove barriers to your success. One of the strategies of life is learning. Like in business terms, sometimes we talk about risk management. Risk management is you have to be able to those who achieve success, listen, it's not like they undergo an easy path. One of the core skills of those who achieve success is that they face everything squarely and they overcome it. They face everything squarely. And by the way, what people have to face is different. For you, it may be what you've talked about, being a Black woman living in UK. For somebody else that's even white, because I do work with everybody everywhere in the world, different people. It doesn't mean your own challenges may look a certain way, may be layered with race. I'm telling you, their own challenges, they have theirs as well. So we all have stories we can tell of why we are not doing or we are not going to do what it is God is calling us to do. The stories can be different, different demographics. Listen, if you sit around talking to enough people, if you sit around engaging with as many people as I do, last year I trained entrepreneurs from 38 countries. That's when you start realizing that these things, each person just has what they have to overcome. Everybody does. If wishes were us, if all it took to be successful is to wish it, dream it, and become it, everybody will do. No, but what sets people apart is facing your own journey squarely, believing, like you said, in yourself, and committing, making commitment. That's why you have a life strategy workbook you do in my school. And even this conversation, again, all over and all over again, it's validating the reason I created the Entrepreneurs Academy, which is a business school and a community for you to work out all of these things that are so common. It is so common, you will be amazed. Everybody has a dream, but not everybody's ready to overcome the obstacles in their way. Not everybody is ready to build the relationships they need for success. Not everybody is ready to invest in the knowledge they need. Not everybody is ready to discipline themselves to build the skills. Not everybody is ready to do the work. Not Not everybody is ready to persevere. Not everybody is ready to be consistent. Not everybody is ready to never give up. There are so many stages to this journey of success. If you go at it by yourself, all by yourself, it gets more dynamically painful. I'll be honest. That's why I always say build a community around you. Have support group. Have people you can call. Have people who understand your unique journey. That's the only way you last this journey, because it's a profession. I teach entrepreneurship as a discipline, as a profession. That's why I always say they don't tell lawyers to fail fast. They don't tell doctors to fail fast. They don't tell accountants to fail fast. They don't tell surgeons to fail fast. They don't tell pilots to fail fast. In fact, failure is not acceptable. They tell them, go and learn. If it will take you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, go and learn. Because your profession does not accept failure. But in entrepreneurship, they will tell you fail fast because you're literally on your own, and there's no curriculum. In the traditional education system, they removed wealth building, wealth creation principles. They didn't teach us, right? And so that's why I have built the entrepreneur school with the curriculum, the discipline, mindset, personal development program, over 300 resources, so that those who want to learn, truly, when you realize that listen, it's either you do it by yourself, or you learn. Those are the two things. Either you learn on the job, you try it out, you learn by yourself, truly. That's one way. That's primarily the only way people know. But my own offer is that there's a school where you can actually learn from people who have gone ahead of you, if you want to invest in that type of life-transforming knowledge base. That's really the offer. And I say it's a decision at this point. People didn't have a choice before, right? The only choice was fail fast. That's what we fail fast. Figure it out. Don't worry, you're on your own, right? But what I offer is a more strategic approach to take a step back. I can say, let's reverse engineer this thing. Let's reverse engineer it. You're going to need meaningful relationships. On Saturday, Rich, let me just give you some highlights from that. RICH. Number 1, R is for relevance. This is something I just taught to my students on Saturday. I'm not going to put it publicly. There are 300 resources there. It's a school for entrepreneurs who want to learn how to build, grow, and scale a world-class business. But number 1 for the RICH acronym is we want to build relevant relationships for the journey we're embarking on. And in order to do that work, I challenge my students to have a vision for their future. Right? Because when you don't know where you're going, listen, if you're going to California and somebody else is going to Florida and you say, borrow me your roadmap, if you follow their roadmap, you will end up in the wrong space. That's how I also say, be careful who your mentors are. Be careful who you are saying, teach me. If you don't want to become like them, be careful. If they are in Florida and say, please borrow me your roadmap, and they give it to you and you follow that direction, you will end up in the wrong space. So the first thing, actually, cast a vision for your future. Just dream big. Dreaming big is still something we have to do with a sense of possibility. You have to believe all things are possible. Anything you can dream is achievable by you. Now, you may have an idea, but the resources may not be within you. This is the power of networking. I was just interviewing some government officials. I usually ask them, tell us 1 or 2 secrets to your success. The top answer is still networking. The most successful people in the world, it's still networking. You don't get to the top without networking your way there. One of the principles of success, I actually teach tactics and strategies of networking in the game plan, 12 strategies for winning. Because again, I bring all those things to my professional students so that you don't have to figure it out. I will tell you what I've already figured out. You need networking. And not just need it, there's a certain way. I say it's like a bank. Your network is like a bank. If you look at your cell phone and you cannot call anybody now to do ABC or introduce it to, then you've not done it well. But when I come on social media like this, listen, I just want to be social and get to know people. But in my school is where I teach and coach for those who want to learn, right? Invest in learning. That's really key and important here, right? So that R is for relevant, something relevant to where you're going. And relevant looks like who is going where you're going or who has been to where you are trying to go to. Those two groups of people are relevant for your journey. You ought to be looking for them. Some of them are in chambers of commerce. Some of them are in private networks. Some of them, listen, these are the people, they are hiding in plain sight. That's why I always tell people, like, be careful with social media. Social media, there is no filter. Anybody, right, that has a cell phone anywhere in the world is on social media. But some of us, people like me, we actually build community around a certain discipline and a mindset. So the communities that is actually relevant for your future, listen, you invest in those communities. Your chamber of commerce, listen, if you join your local chamber of commerce, you all of a sudden you start seeing people like you, successful people, millionaires, people who have built business for 10, 15, 20 years. You start realizing, whoa, these people can answer more questions than the people I used to ask before. But most of those spaces, you are going to still make a level of investment to belong to dynamic relationship that is tied to wealth building. All the other places that is common, easily accessible, you get what you get. But if you want to get more than is average, you have to start investing in events. Okay, I'm giving you tips now. Physical events as much as possible that is tied to business networking. That's where you meet these people. Okay, tons of events. Listen, you want to fly, you're going to make, listen, nothing. If you are not ready to make any investment, don't worry, just stay where you are. But if you are ready to make investment, you want to travel, right? You really need to escape your physical locations, because these types of people congregate in location that is not yours. I'll stop there, because listen, this is not for social media. Let's just leave it that way. I'm not going to go deeper on that. I prefer, there are many things that I do privately for those who want to learn, for those who want to really go out and accelerate their journey to success. You cannot be doing all these average things everybody's doing on social media, because those people that you are looking for, that you actually need, that is relevant to where you're going, they are not on social media. I'll stop right there. Any other thoughts before I close out? Hi, Jason.
No, I really appreciate you. When I find a coach that also has a show and teaches people at the national and international level, then I'll stop saying you're the only one that I found. So I appreciate you. That's it. I'm done speaking.
Oh, no, listen, I can even tell you, no, there's nobody. You're not going to find somebody like myself. You're not.
I honestly have to tell you, I spent a lot of money on coaches before I found you, and unfortunately, but God is good. It's all good, but yeah, it was kind of unfortunate, the amount of money I spent on other coaches, because I definitely believe in investing in coaching, but unfortunately, you do have to make sure you properly vet.
You want to vet
all of
them.
The people,
you want to vet them. I never knew I'll be teaching. Teaching wasn't like, I never knew I'll be coaching. But with the work I'm doing, you realize, in fact, the people who need this the most seek it the least, because they've told themselves a story that they don't need it. But yet, handbag, shoes, all these luxury things, you pour your money there. These are the things for those who want to hear the truth, I dish it out in my school. For those who do not want to confront the truth, I leave you alone. The people who need this the most, they are the ones seeking it the least, because there's a story that we are smart. We are so smart, we don't need anybody's help anymore. In fact, we are also feeling entitled that somebody will come and there's nobody that achieved success that didn't pay, right? The degrees you have, your first degree, second degree, you paid for it. You paid for it. And those who decided not to pay, you know where they are. It's either scholarship or something, but somehow you pay for the most exclusive things in this world. So there's a certain belief system that somebody is still thinking, I won't pay to become a successful business owner. Guys, who said, where is that coming from? Your business idea needs resources. Listen, it needs energy. It needs time. It will take everything from you plus more. The decision you have to make is where to allocate your time, energy, and resource, because that decision is what will unlock success for you. Where to put your time, where to put your money, where to put your energy. Really, that's it. That's the decision we all have to make every day. And every day, people are putting their time on social media, putting their energy here, and then they'll say, oh, I don't have. I get it. But the richest thing in life is still relationships. And those who discount relationships, you get what you get. You settle as the average of the people around you. That stuff is I'm not the one that came up with it. You've heard it before. You are the average of your 5 friends. You've heard it before. I'm not the one that came up with it, but that stuff is true. So on Saturday, what I was challenging my professional students in my academy is, listen, break out. At least be the average of millionaire mindsets people. Pay to be in the community where they are. These things are not even impossible. Do you know that? There's no impossibility. What is impossible is what people have said they will not do for themselves. Yacht clubs, golf clubs, they are there. And most of the time, what keeps you, what is the barrier is the investment you decide you're not going to make. That's the only barrier in this world that I'm seeing. Most of the things now in the world, the most premium things in the world now, you can unlock the key with your money. But if you think it's going to be free, listen, it's not going to be free. Exclusivity. The key is money. You know why it's money? Because the mindsets that invest, the investment mindset, is what those communities are about. People who believe they don't have to invest, they don't even want that type of thinking in that community. Do you realize that? Do you realize that for somebody like myself, when I host international trade summits, I actually on purpose create a barrier. I don't want anybody strolling in, assuming this is a charity network. It's not. And so, because people invest thousands of dollars into that place, the energy in the room, the focus is sharper, is more precise, because everybody invested to be in that room. So magic happens in that room. So there's actually a principle. There's a principle at play here that divides the world. The principle of people who say, I'm not going to invest, and the principle of people who invest maximum. These things starts separating the world, because it's a belief system. It's a belief system. People will say, oh, free content, I'm only going to do free content, free this, only free. There's another community that will not even touch free, because they don't have time to digest free content. They want premium. They will rather pay an expert an hour of consulting, 2 hours, because in 2 hours, that person will teach them what their free content hasn't taught you in a year. They know these are principles that people who don't have time to waste consuming 100 hours of free content. No, they are like, guys, I don't have 100 hours to be going through this thing. The person who created this content, let me give him a call and ask him my questions. Even if his time is $500 per hour, $1,000 per 2 hours, whatever it is, ring, ring, hello, they sit down in 1 hour, 2 hours, the person answers all the questions. And guess what? Other people that don't want to invest, they will spend 2023 consuming free content, and they will still not find the answers there. These things, I will still keep creating awareness, because those who need it the most seek it the least because of belief system. So the world, knowledge divides the world, skill divides the world, mindset divides the world, right? Belief system divides the world. What we believe, what we know, how we think, how we discipline ourselves, how we show up, will determine results and the life we create. That's what I have seen, and I'm open. I'm sharing it now. If you don't like, if you've seen something else, tell me, because I work with the highest, the biggest companies in the world. Governments have gone from World Bank to ambassadors. I've engaged with them. I host them. I host them at my show. I host them at my events. The most successful people in the world, I sit with them. Independently wealthy people, okay? People want, I sit on, listen, I'm sharing with you. This is my own conclusion. Knowledge divides the world. Skill divides the world. Relationship network divides the world, right? What else? Investment mindset divides the world, because as an entrepreneur, if you don't adopt this principle of sowing and reaping, and you want to reap without sowing, it doesn't work in business. It doesn't work. Even it doesn't even work in relationship. When I teach networking, right, there are certain principles I share about networking that has to do with value. If you don't invest in people, you cannot get much out of people. It's like a bank. If you go to a bank and you say, give me money, they will look at your account and they say balance is zero. They won't give you any money. They won't give any money. So there are some relationship, you need to be investing in relationship, because the day you want to cash, they will be able to support you. But people out there, they are knocking on, you know, all these DMs. I. Who are you? Everybody's asking, trying to take, but they don't know how to give. So become a giver. Become a giver of value. And there's nothing else in this world that you will not be able to unlock for yourself. If this is the only thing you remember from this session, stop being a taker, start being a giver. Nurture other people, serve other people, connect with other people, give to other people what you actually want. And you will be amazed that the principle of multiplication will kick in. People will now be helping you. People will now be supporting you. So I also see this mindset of people who say, oh, nobody is helping me. Nobody is helping. How many people, right? It's a principle, guys. You bank in other people's, right? You bank in people. You support people. I'm not saying charity. I'm saying real value. Real value. Transform other people's life and watch if your own life will not be transformed. So you realize that people who don't understand, like, again, I teach these things. There are classes, courses, programs that will guide you, the new behavior that will support you on your success journey. The new thinking, behavior, knowledge, capacity, skills, strategy, systems that will support you on that knowledge journey, on that success journey. Because behavior thinking, sometimes, guys, I am like, I don't want to deal. You don't want to deal as well. You don't want to deal to when somebody comes at you and the person comes into your DM and is saying, you're like, this person hasn't gone through to Coach Toyi's teaching. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you, everyone. Listen, I'll keep saying hello, but the day when you're ready to make these investments in you, it's a 360 transformation. Business principles, sales skills, right? All of these things that we need. It's available now. You invest in it, you get what you want, right? Because the reason I created it is because people in my community, we need it the most. If you are the first person building wealth through the power of entrepreneurship in your community, you're alone. You're alone. And the community is saying, my own community is saying, like, don't be alone. There's a school for you. There's this business school for you, right? That will support you all in. And I tell you, other people will jump at it, but the people who need it the most will still tell another story and say this. But I hope you won't tell another story. This school is what's more. It will change your life for sure. It will change your life. I know that, because that's why I created it. Because when I talk about all this trade, international trade things, everybody say, oh, amazing, amazing. But we're going from employee mindsets and we want to build wealth. How do you do this without disrupting all the thinking patterns, the conditions, how we've been conditioned that is very limited, right? Like there's so many, I say it's the lion in the zoo versus the lion in the wild. You have to unleash your power. You have to unleash your power. You have to discipline yourself. You have to show up. to create the life of your dreams. And nothing is stopping you in today's world. Nothing is stopping you except yourself. I hope people realize that. Because all things are possible to them that believe. And I'm telling you, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. Disrupt all the stories, right? It's not about the reality. It's your conclusions about your experiences and that shapes your belief system. And I'm telling you, once you decide that you're going to be all God wants you to be, nothing will stop you. But if you don't decide because you don't believe, you keep experiencing what you believe. But once you believe that you're here to create value, to drive value, to build wealth, to build business and change your community, heaven will shift for you. People will shift for you because that energy you carry, and I've thought about this before. It's also in my school. I teach energetics. The energy you carry, it's a magnet. It will attract itself. Your belief system will attract itself. And you keep seeing what you believe. As I always say, change your belief system. Believe that the world is yet. Listen, I believe good people are here in the world. They're going to help me, support me. Good clients and customers, they're coming my way. For sure. People are going to give me money. People are going to contribute. Not even money. The best things in life belong to me. They're coming. They're here. That's what I believe. That's why I keep showing up. Disrupt your belief. Make it positive. When you realize that your belief shapes your reality, you will change your belief. You're trying to change reality, but you're not changing your belief. No, you can't change the world. First, the world is the world. The world is the world. You can't change the world out there, but you can change your belief system. And I'm saying, let's change us. Let's discipline us. Let's develop skill. Let's become unstoppable, right? Because we can do all things we want to do. It's a belief system. Thank you so much, everyone. I see Dr. Joy, Dwayne, Benedicta, Chidera. Thank you, Jason, for being here. And Marisa. Oh, Marisa, you were here all through. Thank you. I'm going to close out now. Enjoy the rest of your week. And join me at soimumesiri.academy to access 300 resources that will help you build, grow, and scale a world-class business faster. God bless you. Bye. Also, go get my book, Mindset of an Entrepreneur, available on Amazon. Just Google my name on Amazon. Bye for now. Take care.